Rue, start the show! I'm Beatrice, your badass branding strategy girl, and welcome to the Art of Branding Badassery podcast. Rue expects your best branding game. You don't want to miss out on 95% of your audience, do you? Heck yeah, today we're diving into the world of internal branding, more specifically, the art of building a solid why in your internal branding process. I'm joined with a guest who knows how to make logos pop and graphics shine, a fellow tattoo addict, and someone who will make you think. Please welcome Jerecy Remanente, the mastermind behind helping health and wellness brands differentiate themselves with strategic design. Thank you for joining us today.
Yes. Thank you for having me. I love that. I love the intro. Love the intro. I feel so special after hearing that.
Not to mention the tattoos. I mean,
Yeah.
it's been a big love of mine as well. Like trying to get even
hmm
more,
Yeah.
slowly build them up. And I hear you're trying to get like a full sleeve, like both arms, one arm.
Yeah. I know this is an audio podcast, but for the listeners, you can't really see it, but I have like a little like half sleeve kind of thing that I'm working on. I got the hand and the forearm, and I'm trying to work my way up on my left arm.
Hell yes.
There. And I got one here as well on my right arm. It's full of color and it's very vibrant, which is definitely my style when it comes to art. So yeah, and I think it's really cool to have like that expression and how like people can see you right away. It's like, yeah, it's very comparable to branding and identity and visuals. Like they get like a little first impression of who you are and what you're all about. So yeah, I think it's really cool.
So, do you feel like those tattoos? I don't know. They make up a part of your personal brand identity.
Yeah, I guess you could say that. It's like there's like a certain art style that really like resonates with you and
Mm.
speaks about like who you are and what kind of identity you have. Um, it's very different for other people, I'm sure. Like different tattoos can have like different meanings. Like there's like times in my life where I look back on like certain tattoos and I'm like, oh, I was in that place in my life, or I was in that. It's like a good it's like things that you can go with your memories too, like the journey of your life. But yeah, it's like a cool way to really express yourself and yeah, it's also like something that is really a cool icebreaker. There's been so many times where like people are like, oh, I love your tattoos, like thanks, and then we just talk about tattoos because like they probably have tattoos too, or they want to have tattoos, and
Mm-hmm.
yeah, it's like a really cool icebreaker to just talk about that, and they're probably like pretty creative, so like we could talk about like creativity, and it just snowballs from there. So yeah, it's been a really cool experience, like having tattoos for sure.
Hell yeah. So, speaking of creativity, you are a logo and brand design extraordinaire. What makes you realize that helping businesses succeed through design was your calling?
I've just always been, I don't know, I always felt like creativity was something that really stimulated me, really like ignited my passion. I didn't know like what route I should take on it. So I just tried a bunch of different things, and then I think I was on YouTube or Google
Hmm.
at the time, just like figuring out what kind of route I wanted to go in. And then yeah, I just found some design stuff, and it really spoke to me. Went to school for it, and really just absolutely loved it, especially like the whole environment. Being surrounded, I've never been surrounded by like that many creative people in that environment. So and yeah, I just really loved creating, making visuals, and I've always like business is something that I've always been interested in as well. So like I feel like branding and branding and design in general is very correlated with business too. it could really scale and help businesses. Yeah, that's basically my journey up to this point. So it's been fun.
So how does that fall into your personal why? Like why you're doing all this?
Like in terms of like finding your why, it's always such a process. Like it's never like something that you figure out overnight. It's something that you just really have to experience with a lot of different things and being open to new ideas. Yeah, it just really just hit me when I just started to create my own personal brand. Like I was interested in design and just design only. As I started to like create my personal brand and start putting myself out there and creating content, I really discovered like the strategy component of design and branding, why businesses even have meaning and why they should have an identity, why they should have like a personality behind it.
Why do you feel that businesses should have that strong why?
You want to know like why you get out of bed in the morning. You want to know why
Mm.
you help people. You want to know why like you have to have like a deeper meaning towards what you do. Otherwise, it's just gonna feel like meaningless in the long term. I don't feel like you need to know your purpose right away, or it needs to be like something that's super extravagant or super ambitious. I feel like you just need to like come to terms with why you do what you do. So like, because there's gonna be so many roadblocks on the journey. There's gonna be so many
Mhm.
doubts that are created, and when you have like that surefire why, that surefire purpose as to what you do, why you even exist, the people that you help, it really helps you to keep going on your journey to know like, okay, as long as I keep doing this, like no matter what kind of emotions come up, what kind of self-doubts happen along the way, what kind of like stumbling blocks come along the way, like I know like I have this deeper why, I have this deeper purpose, so that'll keep me going no matter what.
You have those deep, dark moments, which, at the very beginning, you never see it coming. You don't think you're gonna have like as low lows as you're going to have. And that why it needs to be so damn powerful that even during those darkest moments, they're there to lift you out. So what would you say? What are your secrets to fellow budding entrepreneurs and people looking to start their own business out there on how they too can build a why that will resonate with them or even their team?
Yeah, you gotta figure out, you gotta be clear on who you are and what kind of values you have, what really resonates with you, what kind of people that you even like resonate with, that like is authentic to you and your values. Because when you align everything, when you
Mhm.
align like the kind of people that you enjoy helping, the kind of stuff that really gives you purpose, what you value, when you like really figure out all that stuff out, and it just aligns with you so personally, and so authentically to who you are. um, I feel like that's like the key to like figuring out your deeper why. It's hard though, because like you're changing so much along your journey and things always change. We spoke before like how different we were when we were younger and how much we change over our journey. Yeah, you just try to figure out who you are as best as you can at the moment and what you align with and what you value, and just go after stuff that yeah, that really matches that energy.
Yeah, it's crazy. I mean, even Rue, she went from, the little weak, tiny Joey kangaroo to like a badass baseball bat wielding kangaroo with
Yeah, yeah.
sunglasses and about to take people out at the knees. Like that sort
Hmm.
of journey, you do need to change. You do need to adapt to whatever does come along, right?
Yeah, yeah, for sure.
How do you feel that, your expertise in design plays a role in communicating that why effectively?
with like design and visuals, a lot of that, like when I was talking about my tattoos, it's a great way to express who you are as a brand. Like people, like a lot of branding, a lot of people don't know this, but like a lot of it is done internally. So like a lot of stuff that we don't see, and what visuals and design can do for you is communicate all of that visually and externally. I feel like the like design has a huge impact when it comes to creating your identity, creating visuals that will help express who you are and communicate all your values, like your mission, your why, like all of that. I feel like design has a huge part to play when it comes to just really visually communicating that to your audience and making sure that that your audience is on the same page as what you're trying to spread to the world. So design has a huge part to play because it's a great way to communicate that with your audience, especially visually. We're like humans, we're very visual creatures. So if you can really accurately express your brand with your visuals, you're already ahead of so many other people. So I think it's very, very valuable.
Going off that, what would you say to someone who came to you for graphics, who they don't have any internal brand, be it like a why or established values or goals, mission, a description, for their client base. what
Mhm.
what would you say, or what would you suggest to them?
Like visuals, I feel like are the last step you should do when it comes to that. Like you need to develop all of that before you even
Hmm.
start with design. So I would suggest getting some brand strategy implemented first. Like really getting to know those things first, like your why, your values, your mission, who you help, your target audience. All those things need to be established first. So I wouldn't even like get to the visuals are like I wouldn't even get to that. Like that's so far down the line. Like that's like one of the last steps you should do. So if that's their problem, if that's like something that like they don't even know where to start, like then you need to start implementing brand strategy. Like that's where you start. Like you need to get to the core.
Yeah, exactly. So if someone came to you and they're struggling with their why specifically, what would you say one question would be that you would ask them so that they can nail their why?
Yeah, like I said, I would just go back to like why you're even starting this. Like why are you even starting your business? Like
Hmm.
why does it even exist? Like their story, I would go back like do you have a story that inspired you to do this? Everyone has like a reason as to why they start their endeavors. Even if it's like something superficial as to like make some more money, like that's a reason why, right? So
Yeah.
and we can even go deeper into that, like why do you even want to make money in the first place? Why do you even want to do all this, you know? Like we could go so many different directions with that. So there's always a deeper why to everything you do. We just gotta like figure it out. We just gotta have like a good conversation, ask some deep questions, really go beyond the surface and
Hell
really
yeah.
dig deep. Yeah. So that's how I would do it.
It's gotta be deeper than that. Oh, I want to make money. No, no, like what is your real, like, after the money? Once you've hit
Mhm.
that goal, once you're hit, like, hit whatever that is, what's your real why behind that? It's there's so much thinking involved in the entire process, and I know we talked about this quite a bit, but both of us do tend to be overthinkers. As an overthinker, how do you navigate the creative process and ensure that your designs truly capture the essence of a brand? Do you have any tips for fellow overthinkers in the creative field?
I would say the biggest thing that's stifled me is letting your ego get in the way. Like
Mhm.
getting attached to your designs just because you feel like it looks good, or even if it looks bad. There's been plenty of times where like I thought my designs look like shit, they had no value. Like, what am I thinking with this? And then I present it to a client, and they're like, "Oh, this looks great. Like everything is fine. Like this is exactly what we want." Like, "Oh, really? I thought it looked awful." Like, "Oh my god, okay." So like your mind can really play tricks on you. So my biggest advice would be to not get too attached to your work, either on the positive or on the negative end. Let the target audience, let the clients, let them be the feedback you need, or even like people, or even like fellow designers that
Hmm.
you really respect. Like they're gonna know more about whether or not your work is good or not. So don't get too attached to your work on either side.
Oh yeah, I love that. Like, and using the community as well. I know that people can be a great sounding board, rather than just having everything going inside your mind. It is amazing. So, there is one question that I like to ask everyone that comes onto the show. And that question is, what is the biggest societal norm that you want to push back on and teach others about?
I would say success. I feel like people's definition of success would be like mostly of like money and social status, but I feel like success is based on your own version of it, and like there isn't only just one way of achieving it, of having success. Like some people can be happy and successful being like filthy, stinking rich, and that's cool for them. But I don't think that's a defined rule. I think there's plenty of ways other people can be successful, and yeah, some people can be happy like being spiritually fulfilled and having a lot of good people around them and having healthy relationships. So yeah, there's like multitude of different ways you can have success in this life. There isn't just one way. And yeah, I feel like you can be successful based on your own definition of it and what you value. And yeah, like you don't need to stick to one version of success, as there's like many different ways of succeeding in this life. There isn't just one way. So
My gosh. And yeah, there is so much of that on social media for,
I know.
this is the version of success. I earned $1 million in so and so,
Hmm.
or
Yeah, like it's probably the worst it's ever been in this era because yeah, you see like social media and you think, oh my god, like I'm not there. Like what the hell? I'm not even close to that. I probably will never get there. Like I'm a loser, you know? But the thing with social media is a lot of those people are miserable too. We all have our own set
yep.
of issues as well. So no one that you see online that you think is having their best and most successful life that way at all. Like everyone has their issues. It's just like they're just different. So yeah, it's important not to compare yourself for sure.
Oh yeah. Well, thank you again for joining, Jerecy. How
Hmm.
can people reach you?
Yes. So I have a LinkedIn. I have an like that's just my full name, Jerecy Remanente. I have an Instagram. It's visual dot purpose. I'm not as active there, but I do. Maybe I'll be active in the future. Who knows? And yeah, those are like the two main platforms that people can reach me. So I'm most active on LinkedIn. That's how we connected and met. So LinkedIn would probably be the best option to reach me, as well as my website. I do have a website as well. Visualpurpose.ca is where you could reach me there. So yeah, those are all the platforms that I use currently. So
Perfect. Thank you. And those details will also be in the episode description. And drop any questions you'd like answered about this show in the comments, be it here, whichever platform it is, or even LinkedIn. And of course, stay badass.